Hopkins University successfully performed the world's first total penis and scrotum transplant. The operation was performed on a veteran who was severely wounded by an IED while serving in Afghanistan. The 14-hour procedure reportedly involved 9 plastic surgeons and 2 urologists. For more on this, I want to bring in Dr. Richard Redett. He's one of the surgeons who performed the procedure. He's also a professor of plastic and reconstructive surgery at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, what did the procedure entail, and how is it different from other genitalia transplants?
The procedure entailed transplanting not only the penis and scrotum, as you said, but we also included part of the patient's abdominal wall. And there have been 3 other penis transplants performed in the country, and those have gone well as well. But what makes this unique is the size of the transplant. And he was injured by an IED. He had a devastating blast injury to his pelvis and was missing a lot of tissue.
And what type of functionality after this procedure should the transplant recipient expect? And will, for instance, he be able to have biological children?
Well, the 2 things that we really look at for function are, 1, can he stand up and urinate, which he will be able to do after this transplant, and 2, can he have intercourse? And to have intercourse, you have to be able to have an erection and you have to have sensation, and we're confident that he'll have both of those. Now, with regards to the reproduction, it's penis, scrotum, but no testes, and we don't transplant the testes for ethical reasons.
I see. What are some of the risks associated with this procedure?
Well, probably the biggest risk at this time is the risk of rejecting the tissue. It's just like a solid organ transplant, like a kidney or a liver or a heart. He'll be on medications the rest of his life to prevent rejection, and we'll be monitoring him closely.
And what does this procedure mean for the medical community, especially in treating service members?
Well, I think it means a lot. It means a lot to the patient, but this type of innovation helps kind of propel us forward with other types of innovation. And I think the more of these we do, the more acceptable the procedure will be, and ultimately the more people will be able to help.
Finally, what are some of the psychological benefits for recipients of this particular type of transplant?
Well, when you have this type of injury, a lot of people early on, maybe 5 years ago when we started this, people questioned us, why would you do something like this and put this young man on immunosuppression the rest of his life? But until you actually sit down and talk with one of these guys, you don't really understand what they're going through. But once you do sit down and you talk to them, it makes perfect sense.
All right, Dr. Richard Redett, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.